Hey cats, it's Ed EDDBUD here, back with some running news for you. This is where I pull together all those tidbits and nuggets of information into a nice, easy to consume form. Stacks of midsoles to examine today and an obscene amount of outsoles. Running news, in fact, from the sublime to the ridiculous. News on strange happenings at the Mexico City Marathon, where a third of people taking part were disqualified. A look into the future with some sightings of some super stacked mystery shoes that have yet to be slated for a release date on the schedule. Plus, we've got a whole heap of new releases that are coming out very soon or may already be there. Let's get to that running news. Thanks for joining me on the channel, people. It's always appreciated. Help me towards my journey to 1 million subscribers by hitting that button, but also giving the video a thumbs up like. That really helps out. Dankeschön. Loads of stories today, so let's dive straight in. Starting off with the Mexico City Marathon. I've lost track of the number of viewers that have requested I include that one in today's running news. Now, let's not forget that this is one of the top marathons out there. It's got the gold World Athletics category. I think there's only about 37, 38 marathons that actually are in that. And then, of course, above that, you've got the platinum ones, which are like the sort of world majors, really. Now, this one caused quite a stir because almost a third of the people taking part got disqualified. Now, I'm not entirely sure whether this is actually true. Lots of people leapt on the story and said 11,000 of the people that took part were disqualified. I think there was like 30,000 participants this time round, but it's actually only 2,000 if you believe the Mexico City Sports Institute. They were very quick to point out that that was wrong or something. I've been looking around for results. I can't find anything. If you find any or stumble across them, let me know. It's hard to figure out whether this is the number of people that couldn't take part due to injury, or this includes the people that perhaps circumvented part of the course. Maybe they used a bicycle or some roller skates. Perhaps it's like a total figure then, or take away the 2,000, there's 9,000 disqualified. I'm not sure. Maybe that's a total over the last few years, because it does appear that over recent marathons in Mexico City there have been quite a lot of people disqualified. I think in 2017 the race director reckoned that there were 5,806 people who had cut the course in some way, and then in 2018 you had about 3,000 people doing the same thing. So why is it such an issue at the Mexico City Marathon? Or maybe this is happening all the time and I just didn't realise it. You know, that guy that beat me a few years back at the Blackmore Vale half, you know, he got on a tractor or something, or perhaps he ran through a field and cut out a corner. You know, there's no timing mats or anything there. Apparently people have been taking like bikes or trams, trains, public transport and stuff. It's just bizarre. I think the race organisers are going to do a deep dive into this one and try and remove all the people that might have done this. I don't know how they're going to do that, really. I mean, what's the point to it all if you're going to cheat yourself and say you've done a marathon or a half or whatever and not actually do it? You know, in your heart of heart, when you put your head down on the pillow, you'll know that you didn't actually do the event. I mean, they could use timing mats, I suppose, to isolate people that perhaps got to a certain point in some unbelievable time. I guess on a marathon there's opportunity to do this and actually try and cheat the system a little bit. When you're doing shorter range races, you don't really have the luxury of time to actually do that. Let's hope they remove all the medals of people that pick them up in an unjust fashion. Why would people do it though? Just to get the plaudits and say they ran something when they didn't actually do it. It's a strange world. Right, we've got loads of future shoes to talk about here. There's been loads of people spotting prototype stuff. Let's dive in and have a look. Some interesting looking shoes here at the 5th Avenue Mile recently. Nike Racing Beasts. They look lower stack, very similar I suppose to the STREAKFLY in some ways, and that back heel section there very similar to the ALPHAFLY 3 that everyone's anticipating right now. There's a certain Star Trek Enterprise sort of vibe about that heel area and the foam. Lots of foam up front there, reminiscent of the old Zoomfly 3 shoes more than anything else really. I think there's a bit more stack here than in the STREAKFLY. I guess hard to tell though from these limited angles. Supplied by The Secret Shoe on Instagram, go and check them out. So stack seems a little bit taller than the STREAKFLY. I'm not discounting it though from being an update to that shoe. Certainly the lacing arrangement there is very similar to the first version. No idea what this is yet, but it does look like Nike's attempt to produce a shoe that's somewhere in the same category as the ADIDAS Adizero Takumi Sen 9. Something with a nice nimble weight. Nike haven't really been doing that all that often, really. Could be a real treat if that is what this shoe could be, especially if it's cheaper than the VAPORFLY 3. I think the styling fits into the Nike race shoe category as well, with that huge swoosh on the front. Now there's another model here from the 3-stripe brand that's got people are talking. This appears to be an Adidas race model. It looks very similar to the existing Adidas ADIOS PRO 3, though it does look like there's a little bit more heel stack there. It's a bit more square, I suppose. Reminds me somewhat of the ADIOS PRO, that original version. And I guess similar to that Prime X 2.0 strung, though a more conventional lacing system this time round. And we can just see at the very front there in these quite pixelated images, really, that more coarse, flat Continental rubber on the outsole. I guess the blocky nature of the heel there also reminds me of the ADIDAS. Ooh. It's unclear as to whether we have that cutout in the arch area of this prototype shoe. I don't think that this is the ADIOS Pro 4. I think this could be something else. We have seen pictures recently of an ADIOS Pro 4. Does just seem to be an upper update on top of the ADIOS Pro 3 midsole. As I say, this is probably some type of prototype shoe. Maybe it's like an offshoot or something. There are a couple of Adidas development shoes on the World Athletics shoe compliance list. Maybe it could be one of those. What do you make of these two shoes, people? Very interesting stuff to see some prototypes crop up. Are they brand new models or just like prototypes of existing designs? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. There's a whole bunch of new releases now. I'm going to try and rattle through them. Check out this killer new colorway of Hoka's Rocket X2. This is what I call the 80s video game colorway. Black of the CRT monitor there with the pink, yellow and blue hues. It's superb. You could just attach a joystick to this one and dig into some retro games. Also nice to have a race shoe in a non-wild colorway, perhaps a little more tuned for the British weather. Grim, dark and with hints of leaf. These are out now over at the non-sponsored sportshoes.com for just under 220 big ones. Love the Rocket X2. This one's Hoka's best shoe so far. Reebok have quietly launched a version of their Float Ride Energy 5, this time in the adventure format. This would be the shoe of Indiana Jones, I reckon, if he was into doing a bit of running. So this is the trail version of their Energy 5 with the enhanced outsole grip and a water repellent upper material made of Cordura. Sounds like somewhere that some of the Star Wars characters might visit occasionally. I believe this to be a nylon-based stuff that will no doubt prove useful on the more boggy and saturated trails that we're likely to have in a few weeks' time here in the UK, now that the sun's finally gone away and the shoe sanctuary is actually a reasonable temperature once again. These are available in the Endor-inspired forest colourway. This in green, grey and brown. Perfect colours at last for the UK trails in the winter. Apparently the colourway here is Stucco, Grout F23 and Citrus Glow. It's the first time I've seen grout used with a running shoe. Brooks are soon to release their Ghost Max offering. This is a 6mm drop super cushion shoe. If you're a fan perhaps of that Ghost series, this could be ideal for you if you want something a little bit more max cushioned and perhaps lifestyle wise as well. It's up on the website in the US at least for a pre-order at $150. I believe the release date for you guys is around about the 28th of September, so not long to wait now. Brooks moving into new markets here rather than the standard shoe categories. I do love the Hyperion Max and what they did there with that shoe, so it looks like you're going to have some standard kind of versions of shoes with the Max variant with a little bit more cushion. Might go in a little bit heavier here because you've got the extra foam, but if you like the Ghost, and loads of people do by the looks of it, loads of people liked my Ghost review. It's a popular model, so why not go for the Max version? Out very soon. Last but not least, Puma have got a very special series of shoes come out. They call the Marathon series. These feature a mainly dark upper with swirls and various space age looking vibes. It's almost like a marble style effect on the upper of the shoe. It does actually go down onto the midsole as well, some of the different options. The Fast Star is the most interesting, with a special 6-star area on the medial side of the heel, which is for your 6 marathon majors. If you're thinking about picking up a pair of these, or over on the Puma website right now, there is a slight price premium on a few of them. I think there's some other select retailers have also got these in stock. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on all the stories in today's running news down in the comments. Musical interlude time. I've been digging back into the CD collection. Really awesome release I guess, lost in time a little bit now. Freedom from Neil Young. Now, my favourite track on here is Crime in the City. It's a very long tune. I think it's close to like 9 minutes long. There's loads and loads of verses. It's got a really cool vibe actually about this one. There's some really interesting instrumentation. Almost feels like something out of a detective series or something. There's some brass in there. There's some lovely use of reverb, really nice drums. They're quite sparse. At times, like, the track sort of pairs down and it's just a deserted street with only the lamps up ahead to sort of light the way. Neil Young was just building up with this album to like a really great sort of 90s period. And of course on this one you get an acoustic and electric version of Rockin' in the Free World, which is absolutely fantastic as Neil Young tracks go. Love playing that one live as well on my electric guitar. You can really wig out, you know, when you get the chance. Such a great chugging riff on it too. And the song works both acoustically and electric. The lyrics of the song are still relevant even in 2023. Go and check this one out, guys. Fantastic album from 1989, Freedom by Neil Young. Thanks for tuning in, people. Hit that subscribe button and also hit the bell for notifications too when I launch the new videos. Give this video a thumbs up, like, and share it with your running buddies. My name's EDDBUD and I'll be seeing you